Good morning, everyone. Myself Tejasri, working as guest lecturer in physics. Today, I am going to discuss about the topic Kronecker delta functions. So, in this topic, let us first discuss about introduction, next Kronecker delta function and its certain properties. Now, coming to the introduction, the two distinct mathematical entities exist, both of which are sometimes referred to as the delta functions. You should be aware of what both of them do and how they differ. One is called the Dirac delta function and the other called Kronecker delta function. In practice, both the Dirac and Kronecker delta functions are used to select the value of function of interest f of x at some specific location in the respective function's domain, that is to evaluate f of x at some point x equal to x naught, which means in quantum mechanics we are mainly using two distinct, which means they are different but in somewhat similar, some mathematical entities or some mathematical concepts which were referred to as the delta function. So in quantum mechanics we are using two mathematical concepts and which are distinct but similar, and we are referred in those two concepts as delta functions, which means the two functions, one is called the Dirac delta function and the other called the Kronecker delta function. So today we are going to discuss about this Kronecker delta function. So both Dirac and Kronecker delta functions are used to select the value of function of interest, which means both these delta functions, which is Dirac delta function or the Kronecker delta function, so they were both used for which means for the specific function, which means we are expecting the result on based of its function, we are selecting it respective functions domain. This happens by placing next to the approximate delta functions inside of an integral Dirac or within the summation Kronecker, which means Dirac delta function is nothing but Dirac comes under the integral of the function, whereas Kronecker can be mathematically represented as summation of the function. Therefore, this first equation is represented as the Dirac delta function. So mathematical representation of the Dirac delta function, and the second equation is mathematical representation of the Kronecker delta function. Therefore, in today's class we are going to discuss about this in detail about this Kronecker delta function. So Kronecker delta function. The Kronecker delta function delta ij is a function of the two arguments I and j, which means we are considering the delta function, that is for Kronecker delta function we are considering delta ij with the two arguments I and j. If I and j are same values, that is I equal to j, then the function delta ij is equal to 1. Otherwise the Kronecker delta function is equal to 0, which means if these two arguments I and j they were equal, then its delta function value becomes 1. Otherwise if they are this equal to not equal to, which means the two arguments I and j are not equal, then the delta function, this Kronecker delta function, gives resultant value 0. Don't forget, of course, that the variables I and j don't always have to be specifically by letters I and j. They could be m and n or whatever the letters the authors like, which means here we are taking the arguments as I and j, which means not only those arguments, it's just the author specifying or representing those arguments I as I and j. So we can also represent those arguments as m and n or any other or in any other variables. Furthermore, some authors prefer to leave out the comma entirely, that is, in other ways, we have written this. You can also write this delta I comma j as delta ij. So you can also remove this comma. So this is what the thing used, but is more often inside of a summation next to a vector, which means so this delta of I comma j equal to delta ij. Let us discuss more in detail. So for this explanation, let us consider a vector, that is a cap is equal to suppose 4 comma 5 comma 6. So we are considering a vector 4 comma 5 comma 6. which means the four values a1, a2 and a3. Now summation I equal to 1 to 3, ai equal to, so the summation a up to I value 3, we can write it as a1 plus a2 plus a3, which means 4 plus 5 plus 6 equal to 15. So this is the representation of the summation. So therefore, now suppose with this delta function, if you represent this same as the delta function, that is summation I equal to 1 to 3 ai delta I comma 2, which means delta j value is fixed. We are fixing those j value with 2, and we are I values we are taking as summation I equal to 1 to 3. Now this can be represented as a1 delta 1 comma 2 plus a2 delta 2 comma 2 plus a3 delta 3 comma 2. Therefore, with the I values were changed with up to 1, 2, 3, and this j value here, I values, this I values we are changing it continuously, and this j values are kept constant, since here it is constant. Now if we can substitute this solution, we all know the a1 value is 4. Let's substitute a1 value 4, since it is I comma j, so delta I comma j form, which means since I equal to j, then it becomes 1. If I not equal to j, it becomes 0. Therefore 1 and 2, 1 is not equal to 2, therefore this becomes value 0, plus a2 value is 5, this 2 comma 2, which means here I equal to j, therefore the value becomes 1, plus a3 value is 6 into 3 comma 2 delta ij, this is not equal to, therefore 0. Now this value becomes 5, the resultant value. Suppose so now we did the summation 4 by considering j value constant and varying with I value. Suppose now if we kept constant this I value and we keep on summation with j value, that is summation j equal to 1 to 3 aj delta 2 comma j, which means here I value 2 is kept constant and j value are summation with j equal to 1 to 3, which means a1 delta 2 comma 1 plus a2 delta 2 comma 2 plus a3 delta 2 comma 3. Therefore I value is constant. So I value, this I value we kept on constant and the j values were changeable. Now for writing, now we consider this a value, so 4 into 2 comma 1 I not equal to j, therefore it becomes 0, plus a2 value 5 into 2 comma 2, so delta of I equal to j, therefore the value becomes 1, plus 6, a3 value is 6 and 2 not equal to 3, therefore it becomes 0, so therefore the resultant becomes 5. Therefore I and j, which means the two arguments, since we are doing summation or it's if it is also changeable, the resultants it is giving they are same. Therefore delta I comma j is equal to the product of ij. So in this similar way, if we can also do more examples by changing those arguments ij with some I or ijk. Consider also the k argument and we can represent it in the form of more examples. So therefore this delta ij equal to product delta ij. it has certain properties. The following equations are satisfied, which is summation j delta ij aj equal to ai. So it has certain properties which the Kronecker delta function is satisfying. So the considering some of its properties, the first one is summation j delta ij aj equal to ai. Suppose, let us do it, summation j. So suppose summation we are doing for j value, that is summation 1 equal to 3. Let us example consider, since we are doing summation for j value, therefore delta, suppose I value is fixed as 1 for example, and j is 1 to 3 since summation, which means delta 1 j1 j value 1 a1 plus delta 1 to a2 plus delta 1 3 a3. So 1 comma 1. Now 1 equal to 1. Okay, it becomes 1 into a1 plus 1 2 I value not equal to j, therefore it becomes 0, plus here 1 3 I not equal 1 not equal to 3 I not equal to j, therefore it becomes 0, which means here it is becomes a1. Since we consider I value as 1, therefore it is ai. So the resultant is ai. Since in the same way we represent for this and this the values, we get the same resultant. Let us check it. Now let us consider this equation. Since we are doing summation for I value, therefore let us consider I equal to 1 to 3 and j value is fixed for 1 for example for this equation. Now a1 delta 1 delta 1 1 plus a2 delta 2 1 plus a3 delta 3 1. Since j value is fixed 1, therefore we consider this 1 1 and 1 we kept constant, and since I value is summation it's changing, therefore it's 1, it's 2 and it's 3. We changed it. Now therefore its calculation here 1 comma 1 equal to 1, which means delta I equal to j, therefore a1 value is, so everything we are considering 4 5 6, the a operator, therefore a1 value is 4, but here we are not substituting since we are representing it with j a values, therefore it becomes 0, this becomes 0, since 3 not equal to 1, 2 not equal to 1, therefore it becomes a1 into 1. Since 1 is j value, therefore it becomes aj, which is equal to aj. This is for second equation. Now let us consider this third property. So where is del summation k, therefore we are doing summation k equal to 1 to 3 and we are considering I value as 1 and j value as 1. We are keeping it constant and k value are doing summation. So therefore this can be represented as delta 1 1 delta k value is also 1, j value 1 plus delta I value constant 1, k value changing 2 plus into delta ij constant 1 1 plus delta 1 3 to delta 1 1. So therefore here k values are changeable. Ik kj ik k, okay, it's sorry, it is 2 comma 1 and it is 3 comma 1. So it is 3 comma 1, it is 2 comma 1. So I think now it's, so therefore I value constant 1, k value summation, first one is 1 1 1. So these were not, I here not equal to this delta, not equal to this delta, not equal to this. So the remaining is this part. So the value is delta 1 1 into delta 1 1, which means I value is 1, j value is 1. Therefore delta ij into delta ij, which means it is equal to the delta ij value. Therefore these were the certain three properties of this Kronecker delta function. Therefore the matrix delta can be considered as an identity matrix, which means, since we already know that in previous class of the matrix representation of an operator, since we are considered an operator A, if we consider the operator as linear operator, then we represent it in the matrix form as square matrix form. But if we consider that particular operator as the Hermitian operator, then we consider that matrix representation, which means we represented the matrix representation in the form of the diagonal matrix form. When coming to this Kronecker delta function, we can represent it, this Kronecker delta function delta, in the matrix form as the identity matrix form. So for linear operator it is square matrix form. For Hermitian operator it is diagonal matrix form. And if we consider this delta, Kronecker delta function delta, play the operator for Kronecker delta function, we can represent this matrix as the identity matrix. So these were the about Kronecker delta function and its certain properties. So finally we can conclude that mainly this Kronecker delta function is used for the filtering terms from a summation and represent dimension in a basis set. So therefore, thank you.